grass is growing because it's raining and then it's sun and then raining and sun. And I have these two lawnmowers here, one there and one there, but they will be moving out quite soon, so it is time to get the Husqvarna Rider cutting deck repaired and ready for work. One thing that can be hard to remove from the shaft are these, and if you take a puller like this and just pull, sometimes you can damage this area here, or you can actually bend it, and then when the belt goes here it can cause vibrations because the belt will go pop, 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 in and out if this gap here is bigger or smaller. I will remove the blades underneath and then remove this whole part and then put this in the freezer until tomorrow morning, and then tomorrow morning probably it'll be easier for me to just pull these out without damaging them. So I got new parts for this. I have to check, is it 14? I think it's 14 millimeters. No, it's not. So it is 15 millimeters. Yeah, and something has happened to this this screw here. It's the lowest point, so if you hit something, you will probably destroy it. The head of this screw here was worn, so the 15 millimeter, this one, which is what should be here, it just slipped. So I used a file, just filed some on each side and then banged this 14 millimeter socket on, and then I could remove it. That's just a little trick. So to remove these spindles or mandrels or whatever you call it, you use a 13 millimeter socket here and then a 30 millimeter U-ring wrench to just, you see, just hold that nut here so it doesn't move, and then so I can see that someone has been here before, because some of these, oh no, not this one. I had one that was like grinded off. And I cannot get it out now. Unfortunately, I was completely wrong, because you cannot get that one out without taking that this what's it called, like belt disc? No, I'll check it and add it in the subscriptions. I'll check it and add it to the subtitles. So I hope I can remove these. What I can do to hopefully get this off easier is get some oil here. I'm gonna see if I can remove these whatever they are called now. So Husqvarna calls those a pulley. Pulley? Yeah, okay. One of three. I'm going to use one of the bolts that was underneath, or am I? They are the same, right? Take another one. Because this one, it might get ruined doing this. Make sure you have a lot of threads in there. Ah yeah, right, that one is 14mm now. Using my old Biltema. I've been using this a lot. So if you don't have these pullers, you should really get some. They are useful. Okay, so let's see how, if it's really stuck or deal is. I'm gonna tap on this lightly. Sometimes they pop off then. I'm using this really small hammer. Whoa! Alright. So it did pop off, but not the way I wanted it. Oh, this one was easy. And this. Not, yeah, this one will come. Let's put some lube there. While that is soaking, I will remove this whole frame here, so I get the cutting deck like on its own. And I do believe it's only these 4 bolts here. And this is the one of them I will replace. It's very worn here. I wonder what kind of steel they're using in these cutting decks. The color is coming up here, but it's not even rusting. Whatever it is. Ja, jag håller på att prata här med min videokamera. Sorry, det gör inget. Visst luktar det gott?
Ja, lite grill.
Yeah, whatever it is. They didn't give their recipe to Stiga. Looks like they found it next to Tutankhamun in a pyramid or something. So this is what grass does to aluminium when you just leave it there. Now that I have mulching blades for this cutting deck, I'm thinking maybe I should make like a baffle here, but that could be removed, or maybe even close it off and then it could be open with a wire or something. So then you can choose to have a closed mulching deck or just regular rear discharge. I have been soaking this in this rust penetrating oil, so I will make one attempt to break it loose with just the puller, and if that doesn't work I will be using heat, and this is the reason why it would be very good to remove this whole spindle assembly and put it in the freezer. Okay, so I don't think it moved. So let's heat this up. It's so far the hottest day of 2022 today. It is like 29-30 degrees, but here in my barn things haven't really heated up yet. You can see it's dripping from my cap. It's because I put water on it, and then as it evaporates, the water cools my head, I hope. So I've been heating this for a while now, and I'm gonna make another attempt to get it off the axle. That oil. I don't know if it's moving or not. I think it's moving actually. Maybe not. Let's just whack it with a hammer, see what happens. And let's use some hearing protection. My plan is, since I cannot get that pulley off the axle, I will try to get the whole axle out of this spindle, and then gripping here, and then put this axle and pulley in the freezer, and hopefully I can get it out then. So I'm gonna do some bashing here. place is coming down. Ow! That was hot. Oh! It's moving here also. Haha! That's great. Oh, look at this. Everything is removed from the cutting deck. I have placed it in the order that it was on the cutting deck. So unless I go here and kick it with my foot, I will remember how it was here. And some of these screws here are really bad, so I will replace those. But now I know what goes where and what length they are, so when I replace them I only have to find the correct length. I run out of battery, but it seems to work very good. This I don't know what this is called, Scotch-Brite SXCRS Roloc Plus, made in Luxembourg. So yeah, and I just want to remove the rust and the loose paint. But as you can see, where the paint is sitting good, where it's not like it has lifted some places, it seems to well, it gets, I mean, it scratches it, but it doesn't remove it, so that's very good. I will put this on charge and keep cleaning it, and then I will paint that with a rust protective paint, and then do the underside, which is I think it's worse. Well, let's see if we can get these pulleys free from the axle. I really don't care about the axle because I got a new one, but I don't have new pulleys. I got eye protection, I got hearing protection. I hope you have it on, because here we go. See what happens here. Oh yeah, there we go. Ha 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 ha. Ah! Grabbers. Nope. Nope. Ah. So this is really the only thing I wanted. This battery got hot and it's not charging. So I have to wait for it to cool down until it can charge. And I just wanna fix this. So hey, why don't you have another battery? And yeah, that's a good question. But I did have another battery, but it went bad after maybe 2 years. And this battery has been holding up quite good. And this machine is from I don't know, because I cannot read. Yeah, 2007. So that's pretty good. And so I like battery operated machines. I like battery cars and stuff like that. But now I will use this one, which has a cord. This is paint for metal, and it has some anti-corrosive pigment that prevents rust. It's for outdoor use. It's time to remove the rust here on the underside of the cutting deck, and there are some areas where it's a little bit more like thicker, a bit more rust, and I don't think I can use that rotating thing, so I have a new tool for that. Here's the tool to remove big chunks of rust. It's not like it's not really a precision tool, but this one here, it won't remove the thick layers of rust here. The downside to these ones is that they're really noisy. And they vibrates. I just want to take off the worst rust, and then I'll paint this, and because you know it will probably look quite similar in a year, but I just want, you know, don't want people to think it's Stiga park cutting deck. So I gotta remove the rust, well, at least most of the rust. I got this Swiss Army knife when I was like, I don't know, maybe 10. And I have no proof, but I think they were of high quality then. I put another layer of base paint earlier this morning, and now it is time to put the top coat on. And I could not find a color code for the Husqvarna gray. So what I did, I just went to, in this case, Bauhaus, which is like a hardware store in Sweden. And I had a part of color, like there was color coming off here. The paint was coming off, so I took that little piece of paint and I handed it to them. They had this machine, and then I had the choice of two different nuances, like two different colors of gray, and this is the one I think was right. And in either case, it will be looking a lot better than rust. So we'll see how it comes out. It's always hard to get the color just right. First layer is done, and it does look a little bit too dark, but it might change when it dries. So we'll have to wait and see. The only part of the cutting deck that you actually can see when you have that plastic cover on is this bar here. So I will also paint that. I will use this grinding wheel to get all the excess dirt and loose paint off, and this will be a little bit dusty, but I just painted that part, so then it's good to have it on a trailer or a, what, I don't know what this is called, but movable something. Let's put it in here. I don't want to have like stuff from the surrounding area inside it. Okay, so good. This is good for areas that are hard to reach. So I used some white spirits, acetone, or as in Finnish it's so called acetoni, I think, just to get rid of all the grease and if there was any dirt left. So I think I'm ready to paint this. I did a little test painting with this new color. This one is NCSS 7500N, which apparently is like neutral, and you can have green or blue or something like that. And it looks much better. This is the original color. It is, maybe it should be a little bit darker, but it's definitely much better than this one, which was way too dark. So I'm going to go with this. There was also one, this one, sorry, this dark one here is 8500, NCSS 8500, and it's hard to see it here. And this one is 7500. There is one that is called 8000. Perhaps that one is even better. Here's that 7500 fresh paint, and this one has dried from yesterday. So you can see it gets darker when it dries. So that's something to think about. Got my parts painted. First layer. So now I just have to do it again. This spindle here looks really bad. So I got new ones. And the good thing about that is they already come with axle, bearings, everything. Since I got these new, I also got new hardware for them, like nuts and screws. Because I think it looks a little bit better, you know, when everything is new. Ah. There we go. Really was stuck in there. I want to make sure everything works with this one and then just copy it on the rest. Yeah. I thought it vibrated, but I think it's, yeah, it's this one. Yeah, okay. So we have clearance and the screws that holds these parts to the cutting deck are these, and as you can see they are a bit rusty. Problem is that these are original Husqvarna screws, and they cost between 44 and 56 Swedish kronors each, which is about between $4 and $5. So instead I went to this company, and then you can just pick what you want. So I got 20 of these, same length, but they don't have this, I don't know, flange. Yeah, it's like a built-in washer here. But I got 20 of these and new nuts also, and it cost me 34 Swedish kronors, so it's less than one of these. So sorry Husqvarna, but these will have to do. And this is an excellent company actually. I've been there a couple of times. They're for professionals, but you can buy stuff there even if you're like me, not a professional. As this gets a little bit worn, this one can start to move up and down and will wear on your cutting deck on the top side here. So we'll put a washer first, and then there's a lot of color on these holes here. And then we do it like this. There. Then another washer here. And am I doing this backwards? Yeah, maybe. I need another locking nut here, but maybe maybe I should change. I'm gonna change this one. It's not that bad, but I'm changing everything, so. It can still come in contact with the deck here, but when the spring is here, it goes like that. There's a new one. Or maybe, yeah, something like that. I think, maybe I'm all wrong. I have to double check. It's always handy to have the illustrated parts list. Yeah, I'll have to try it with the belt on. These are great. I don't know how many times I've told you, but maybe the other way around. Jesus. The problem is that when you hit this with the hammer, it expands, so it gets harder and harder to get it through the bearing. I really should invest in a press stand. I think that's the name, that you can use to push out and in bearings or axles. Oh well, someday maybe. It's hammer time. That could have been bad. I just need to get the bearings off these axles. Thought it would be much easier to get that outer part off, but no. Alright, so I got the whole bearing off. Ha! So there are better methods of doing this, but I don't have a hydraulic press, so I just use violence and luck. Now we're talking. Okay, and now this is I don't know about you, but I think it's like really beautiful. New parts, new paint. I almost don't want to use this, but of course I will. Putting some Loctite here. I think the original bolts had Loctite. I think this part here is for getting better ejection of the cutting deck, or better ejection of the grass, I think. All right. there are two slots down here that the cutting deck goes into, and then you use these to lock it. So imagine the cutting deck is up like this part up here, and then you push that in to hold it in place. Ah. And I do recommend removing these foot rests here to be able to see what you're doing. Okay, so now this is supposed to... I made a mistake. This part here, it moves. It's supposed to pull this part here. So I should have put this all the way forward and then put everything back in here. So this is how it should be. I had to readjust the length of the chain, so I'm going to write S here, which is sopborste, which means like brush in English. No, sorry, it means brush in Swedish. So then I don't have to try it out next time. Maybe like make some kind of mark like here. Okay. Then I know here's where the sopborste is, and maybe here, perhaps. We'll see. Oh. That did not work. So I'm gonna try it with just this ring here, and maybe won't hold that long, but we'll see. I want to try it out first. Okay, that wasn't long. I couldn't find a good solution to this, so I decided to just skip this whole this part here and just go with this chain straight down here as it was from the beginning, I guess. This original setup is really good when you have a light cutting deck. Oh yeah, this one. This one is supposed to be here also. Before I put all the covers on, I want to make sure it runs the way it should. So let's start it in here. I'm going to try it out, but it's dark outside, so I'll have to wait until tomorrow to film it. The test cut yesterday was actually really good. It seems to cut well, maybe not that high, but I think it is adjusted as high as it can be. You see, when you lower this, I don't think it will go any higher than this, because then it will hit here. So maybe I could get a couple of millimeters more, but I think it's I think that's good enough. So the color matching, you see the original gray is a little bit darker than this one, but it's quite close. This here is the first one I got, so it's much too dark. Maybe if I found like something a little bit darker, that would be the best. But I think, I mean, it looks much better now than when it was really rusty. So I'm happy with this. So now that I got this really nice looking cutting deck, I'm gonna hide it. So I was just gonna put this together, but nope, that didn't happen. Threads are not clean enough. Yikes. These might be too long, but I'll try. Oh yeah. Haha. I'm going to cut a little bit with this and film it, but this video is far too long as it is, so cutting it with it will be a separate video. And I really do think it cleaned up nice. Some ATF oil to the plastic, some paint to the cutting deck, and a couple of 100 hours of work. And that's it. So if you have an old rider, please take care of it. It's a very good machine. If you have a new one, you can take care of that one also, of course, but don't let it sit outside, don't neglect it, because they are really good machines and they do deserve better. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe if you like this content. Bye. So this is how big this uncut area is. I'd say it's maybe 25-30 centimeters maximum.